Irish guy, and yes, I'm back in my bunker, back to a daily diet of just chewing moldy socks and eating sausage rolls that I found in my dead neighbour's fridge. I feel like I should tell someone that she's since been eaten by her cat, but on the other hand, I'm sorry, free food! Oh, by the way, William finally scored in the Premier League, didn't he? Alright, well, rules are rules. I'll go and get the cake for tomorrow's vid. But listen, Prem Catch-up is back! And lads, today, let's start off with this one. Liverpool won Leagues 2. What just happened? Lads, earlier in the week, Gary Neville interviewed Virgil van Dijk. I mean, it was a nice casual stroll with a media-trained robot who showed all the personality of a librarian's nose. And considering his form has been shakier than an epileptic squirrel, then I think his fans were keen to jump in and protect him from nasty comments. Lads, this was 5 days ago.
Before all the disrespectful comments come in, just remember this man is still unbeaten at Anfield in league games. 5 years and counting, what a stat.
Oh, Abdul, what have you done? And people think I curse footballers. This guy, you've just ruined Van Dijk's stats. I mean, lads, forget the heroics of Villa Melia. I don't care if he did play like the French Casillas. Liverpool beat Leeds 6-0 at home in February. I remember because I forgot to triple captain Salah. Yeah, I felt like smacking my head off the fridge. I mean, there is no possible reason or excuse for you to be playing Leeds in October and for you to leave Anfield with 0 points. I mean, Leeds had just lost 4 games in a row. No wins in 8 matches. I mean, the last win was over 2 months ago. I mean, lads, they'd scored 6 measly goals since August 21st. So walking into Anfield, those morale-crushed Leeds players should have been like fat tourists stumbling into a cannibal's cave. I mean, Joe Gomez, this man was given the man of the match against Man City, and people were talking about him getting into the England squad. I'm going to say it. If Gomez walked into the World Cup squad ahead of Dan Burn, then it's official. Either Gareth Southgate is blinded by big club bias, or he's the same type of deformed toad of a man who probably just licks wee off the floor. Gomez is not Liverpool quality anymore. I mean, he was horrendously brutal against the likes of Napoli, Nottingham Forest, and now here. 4 minutes are gone on the clock. He probably doesn't even have any sweat on his head, and he chooses to play a stupid back pass. So stupid it went past his own goalkeeper and right onto Rodrigo's foot. In that moment, if I was Jurgen Klopp, I'd have probably wanted to storm onto that pitch, grab him by the ears, drag him into the dressing room and squirt shampoo in his eye. I mean, what? What is he doing? You've just presented a relegation scrapping team with an early Christmas gift. I mean, it's not even Halloween yet. But I mean, it wasn't even just Christmas presents in your sack. It was birthday presents too. Sorencio, Gilbert, Silverio, Piero, Somerville. A Dutch forward who was turning 21 in just 2 hours after the match. That was it. 2 hours left. So of course Van Dijk, his fellow countryman, allows him the freedom of the box to stick it past Alisson. I mean, surely this is the greatest moment of his life. Lads, I remember playing against a team called Somerville back in my youth. They were awful. But lads, this is just his 9th ever career goal. And it just happens to be a last minute winner at Anfield in front of the Leeds fans. And here was me spending my 21st birthday just eating hamburgers and begging my dog for a kiss. But lads, Somerville had only scored his first ever goal for Leeds last week. And that was his second this week. I mean, both goals were toe pokes. Both were just using his big fat toe. I mean, I was taught not to do that at 9 years of age. And yet here he is, scoring ugly, scruffy goals in elite Premier League football, using nothing but his moldy toenails. Fair play, Carencio. But for Liverpool, this is almost, not quite, but almost Borussia Dortmund behaviour in 2014. I mean, it's not quite the spectacular relegation battling meltdown they had in Germany, but still, 4 wins from 14 matches. I mean, this is Liverpool. 14 games in and they failed to win 10. They've only won 1 Premier League match by more than 1 goal. Bournemouth in August. That's it. What is going on? If Liverpool are perfect and suddenly switch on their form in 2019 and win every single match, then they would still put 88 points on the board. I mean, that's all you can possibly hope for. I mean, the perfect scenario is winning the title with 88 points. But that's not going to happen. I mean, forget being one of the greatest Premier League teams of all time. I mean, you could win every single match and have an utterly perfect run of form until May. And yet, you'd still only be 2 points better off than the Liverpool team who used to play with Robbie Keane on the wing. Thus, Liverpool this season are absolute wet pudding. By the way, quick interruption, just telling you that this video is sponsored by HelloFresh. Now, you're probably thinking, what is HelloFresh? Well, it's a meal delivery service which allows you to just skip planning and grocery shopping, but that's what happens when William scores and you have to eat birthday cakes out of a bin. Oh, tomorrow's video is going to be fun. Now, why should you choose HelloFresh? It's convenient, it's a meal plan with peace of mind. HelloFresh is you covered with everything you need. It's delivered straight to your door. HelloFresh is such a great meal kit provider. This is what you need if you want food and fast. Lad, you can cook delicious meals in less than 20 minutes. So it saves you having to slave over a burnt chicken curry for 7 hours. Yeah, I tried that once. I wound up just giving up and just having to snack on chunks of the wall. I can't cook. But lads, HelloFresh offers you healthy options for you to prepare quickly and easily. I mean, it's also tailor-made, and HelloFresh offers you recipes to calculate portions. I've used HelloFresh before, and lads, I'm not gonna stop. When I'm out and about filming football origins and skits, I need food, or I'm just gonna be a malnourished skeleton with the energy of a dying cat. So I always use this to just keep me alive. Lads, click the link in the description to get 50% off your first box and 35% off the next 3 plus 3 gifts using my code TheIrishGuy. Honestly lads, go and get HelloFresh. You won't regret it. Trust me. Brighton 4, Chelsea 1. This man is the hipster love child of the sport. For months, years, people have been queuing up to lick his face. Honestly, there's probably some hipster football fanatics out there who'd pay to buy a cup of his wee off the internet just so they could sample some of his genius thoughts. Well, I'm sorry, look at this. Brighton 4, Chelsea 1. But I'm sorry, but I feel like I've been alone on a rock, screaming my anti-Potter agenda, but Nobody has ever agreed with me. That I could have tried to go down the pub and literally beg that old man to subscribe to my anti-Potter philosophy, and he'd assume I was just a feminist who hates J.K. Rowling. But no, I mean, I would have more luck trying to convince a morbidly obese man to walk into McDonald's and just order a vegetable pie. Well now, Potter has got such egg on his face, he must think of Humpty Dumpty's piss. You've just travelled to your old club Brighton, the team you apparently outgrew when you chose to leave for Chelsea, and you just lost 4-1. Now, to be fair, there is an argument that Potter has just lost to his own creation. I mean, that Brighton team were a Frankenstein monster that he created in his bed. You know, sugar, spice, and everything nice. Well, I mean, not everything nice. I think Yves Bissouma was in trouble once. But I mean, you could say that, yes, he did a good job there. But what has he done for Chelsea so far? I mean, sure, he had the new manager bounce of good luck to beat Crystal Palace and Wolves. But I mean, what's it been since then? A lucky 2-0 win at Aston Villa. Just relying on Tyrone Mings to play like an actual turkey with the flu. I mean, it was also a match where Kepa Arrizabalaga looked like he just drunk horse steroids in the morning of the match. And similarly, I'm sorry, but Potter was just another Kepa masterclass away from getting slapped up at Brentford. Instead, being able to leave alive with a 0-0 draw. And last week was a sluggish 1-1 draw at home to Manchester United, where you couldn't keep a lead for 4 minutes, showing utter naivety and not being able to see out the match. And by the way, that was already his second 1-1 draw as Chelsea boss. Oh, he loves a 1-1. And now, conceding 4 at Brighton, he's just tasted the exact same medicine that he dealt out to Ralph Rangnick in April. I mean, now you probably realize why the German coach had probably spent that evening just crying in the club's toilets, just wiping his eyes with grubby toilet paper. I mean, something tells me that the Brighton toilets probably aren't that clean. I mean, the likes of Shane Duffy probably used to just poo on the seat. But lads, Chelsea have gone from Thomas Tuchel to this. Where is the organisation? The defensive shape? Any semblance that the Chelsea players understood what they were doing? This was a mess. An utter ramshackle mess. You know, a bit like a Britain's Got Talent audition featuring a fat comedian who doesn't know any jokes. I mean, Leandro Trossard almost single-handedly made these Chelsea defenders look like they just spent the previous night watching horror films until 6 a.m. Honestly, Marco Corella surely must have been watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre while shoveling popcorn down his throat, because this fella, he was waddling about like a penguin who desperately needs to poo. But honestly, Trossard, he's now just added both Liverpool and Chelsea to his hit list this season. He needs a monster move to a top 6 club in January. And mind you, who thinks that for Chelsea, he'd be a better signing than Raheem Sterling. But I mean, Potter, a few weeks ago, you were watching your Brighton project score 5 pass leads in the Premier League on a nice sunny afternoon. Things couldn't get much better, right? Well, 2 months later, and you're back at this ground with those same Brighton fans who used to worship at your feet, now chanting, "You're getting sacked in the morning!" Oh, Graham, this is a bit like walking out on your wife and kids. And a month later, I mean, you peer through the window and watch them all eating Christmas dinner and actually having a really nice time, whilst your current squeeze is now just drowning kittens in the sink. You might sort of feel like greed has ruined your life. Oh, Graham, I know this man is just another Chelsea stat. A promising managerial career. All that hype, it's gonna be drowned in a dustbin when he gets an early Stamford Bridge sack. So yeah, I mean, don't say I didn't warn you. Lads, Chelsea just got absolutely schooled. Where's the improvement? Because Chelsea are a club who got frustrated with Claudio Ranieri, the Tinker Man, because he kept chopping and changing his team. But at least he still persisted with the same 4-4-2 formation every week. But Potter, this is even worse, because forget the personnel changes, he can't even stick to one formation. How are Chelsea supposed to get any degree of fluency when this man is just one of these geezers who's clearly too clever for their own good? How are Chelsea supposed to succeed when they've got the Premier League's Lawrence McKenna at the wheel? I mean, can you really tell me that you're comfortable with someone who used to coach the University of Leeds? Someone who used to manage left backs, who probably used to sneak sausage rolls into lectures and get off with her sister on the bus? Isn't that how unis work? Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 3. Tottenham fans, Are you pleased with this? On one hand, yeah, showing the grit and resilience come from 2-0 down and potential embarrassment. I mean, that team could have panicked. I mean, it's been a rough few weeks for Tottenham. Morale has been low, and we've seen before, when these top-tier elite managers are under pressure, the entire scope of the media limelight is bearing down on them like Sauron's eye. I mean, do you remember Chelsea's spectacular meltdown under Jose Mourinho in 2015? Lads, I mean, they were at a stage where the pressure was so immense that the players were frozen in fear to the point where, yeah, they were losing to Bournemouth at home. So, well done. Well done, Tottenham. To power back from 2 goals down, you could have crumbled. I mean, this summer, Spurs were talked up as title contenders while little Bournemouth, people thought they put up about as much fight as a dying chimp at the zoo. Barely any money spent during the summer. I mean, some people thought they were going to be the worst Premier League team of all time. While Spurs, for some reason, buying Richarlison, had people drooling soggy cornflakes all over their feet. And yet here, in this match, barely anything separated them. I mean, that is almost the big story of the day. As can you imagine if Bournemouth had held on to win? YouTube right now will be littered with videos calling Conte a burnt out disgrace, that this Italian Don was a dead man walking, that he'd soon wake up with a pony's head in his bed. Honestly, lads, considering how quickly Tottenham had melted like a birthday cake in the sun, I wouldn't have been surprised to see a ruthless Levy panic and fire him on Monday morning. I mean, let's be real. Levy is still hung up on his ex. I mean, he's probably got a poster of Pochettino on his wall. And considering that Aston Villa came dangerously close to flirting with him this week, I mean, they basically did all but ask for his number. I mean, Levy would have had itchy thumbs. He wants Pochettino back. I just think that Conte came dangerously close to losing his job, and he doesn't even know it. Right now, he should storm into Tottenham training and break up the 5-a-side session and just kiss Rodrigo Bentancur on the face. I mean, considering they're both from Italy, pretty sure that might feel like some macabre move out of The Godfather 2. Bournemouth 1, Wolves 1. Forget the match. Diego Costa is a fraud. I'm sorry, but this guy was just dismissed in a Premier League match for a headbutt. No. When Darwin Núñez did this, everyone vilified him for being an overpaid meathead, you know, just some South American pretty boy with the brains of Joey Essex. Well, where's the same energy for Costa? I already know what the narrative is going to be. Hearing that Costa has just been sent off, everyone will chuckle, roll their eyes, and just say, you know, a bit like how Conor McGregor superfans probably celebrated when he punched that old man in the bar. But I'm sorry, no. I don't care that he's got his lovable reputation for being a snarling, horrible beast. No. Do you think this is funny? Because I think it's an absolute farce. Let's make no mistake about it. Costa's career was down and out. He's just been sitting on the couch since January. I mean, he's got the fitness of a shoe, and in this country it was about as relevant as Tiny Templar. Costa was a forgotten shell, rotting on a beanbag in Brazil. There is no way he should have been given a Premier League job after scoring just 16 league goals since leaving Chelsea, 16 league strikes in nearly 6 years since his Chelsea days. It's an appalling record. Timu Pukki puts that to shame, and yet he's rotting in the Championship. Wolves trusted Costa. They brought him in when many would have just looked at him like some snotty Kleenex, but they gave him a shirt number, immediately started him up front, and this is how he repays them. Wolves are a club in crisis. No senior manager, stuffed in a relegation battle, and they're grinding out a brilliant 1-1 draw at Brentford, a platform to kick on from, and what happens? 97 minutes on the clock, and he headbutts a defender in the eye. I'm sorry, are you insane? What are you doing? I mean, it's like finding out that your granddad has just been arrested for fighting a hobo outside the pub. Again, no. He should be sitting at home with a pipe, watching Only Fools and Horses, and trying not to wee in his seat. I mean, was Costa feeling insecure by the fact that a hard man like him had never actually picked up a red card for Chelsea? Was this a blemish he wanted to correct? And everyone is applauding him for this.
This is the Diego that we loved and missed. Costa back to being his usual self. A red card before a goal. Classic from Costa. Has Costa seriously got a red card before he was scoring a goal for Wolves? Classic Costa.
Classic Costa. No. Classic Costa is finding a pubic hair lodged in your ham and cheese baguette with a hot chocolate that's covered in the Bristol sneeze. Okay, no, I'm sorry, okay? That was just a cheap joke. I actually love Costa coffee. I mean, that is just a joke. But still, I can't abide this. Can everyone please stop egging him on? So I feel like that frustrated school teacher who keeps telling the children not to encourage the class delinquent by laughing whenever he throws his poo at the wall. But still, I mean, okay, maybe I am just acting like a grumpy old man who shouts at teenagers for smoking in the street. But to me, what he did was shameful. Newcastle 4, Aston Villa 0. Are you watching Jack Grealish? Newcastle United are incredible. Lads, Unai Emery turned down this job because he was terrified of a relegation scrap. Luca was in his Aston Villa team. He rejected Newcastle in January too, for the same reason. Too scared of a battle. So instead, he settles for a comfy job in Birmingham. It turns out that both men at the spine of melting snowmen. I mean, especially Dina. You were offered the chance to be part of this exciting Newcastle revolution. Instead, you're just sluggishly pottering along in a stale Villa team, playing next to a burger-munching oaf like Tyrone Mings. Listen, I mean, he's been a good defender in the past, yes, but this season, he's just tight as bramble with a fancy haircut. I mean, okay, I say fancy haircut. Truth is, it looks like a tarantula died on his head. But if there was one career decision on this pitch that was justified, it was Callum Wilson. I mean, he was just inches away from scoring a hat-trick in front of Gareth Southgate. I remember when he left Bournemouth and publicly turned down Aston Villa. I spent months thinking that was an absolute mistake, because instead of joining an exciting-ish Villa project, a team with money and ambition, he was just signing up to live off scraps under Steve Bruce Ball and just choosing to play in a depressed stadium where every fan looks like they come straight from their dog's funeral. Well, lads, it's justified now. Newcastle in that second half were electric. Lads, Newcastle got their revenge at Aston Villa for sending them down back in August 2010 when they returned to the Premier League to spank them 6-0. Lads, here, Newcastle hit the woodwork twice. Chris Wood missed a sitter. This could have been 7. Leicester 0, Man City 1. Kevin De Bruyne is a freak. Lads, Man City are winning this league title. They just are. It's results like this, carving out an important 1-0 win at a tough ground like this. It's incredible. Man City, they're going to win the league. Fulham 0, Everton 0. Yeah, Jordan Pickford was the electric in this match. But lads, is Willian actually good now? I don't get it. He was just a walking banana muffin in an Arsenal shirt. So coming to Fulham, after being chased out of Brazil, this man should have had big name, big money mercenary flop written all over his face. You know, like Sean Wright Phillips at QPR. But now, I mean, he's actually looked pretty fiery on the wing. And really just, yeah, decent. But yeah, I mean, Alexander Mitrovic should have been sent off. I mean, he stamped on his ankle. The referee gave him the benefit of the doubt, but why? It's Mitrovic. Of course he meant it. Christ, it's like a naive babysitter choosing to look the other way when the monster demon child chooses to burn down the kitchen with a match. No, it wasn't an accident. Especially not when he's a kid who belongs in The Exorcist 2. Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0. I'll hold my hands up. I didn't watch this one. Arsenal 5, Nottingham Forest 0. Lads, Arsenal this season are a joke. Yeah, another win. Beating Nottingham Forest. Yeah, everyone must have thought after losing a PSV. And watching the former bad guy, Ruben Nistelrooy, walking around with a piggish smug grin might have sent the Arsenal fanbase into meltdown. But yeah, lads, Nottingham Forest at home are a potential banana skin. Does nobody remember when Arsenal used to keep losing to newly promoted Watford and the likes of West Ham in the past? Or when teams like West Brom were winning here in 2010? Teams like Forest, absolute banana skin. I mean, watching Arsenal historically trying to deal with these supposed easy games, it's just uncomfortable to watch. I feel like looking at a pensioner trying to chew spaghetti and just coughing all over the floor. I mean, lads, even welcoming the likes of Jesse Lingard to this ground. I mean, the Emirates is his dance floor, right? I mean, there must be some Arsenal fans who look forward to this game about as much as you look forward to a trip to the dentist when your dentist is Sweeney Todd. But well done, Arsenal. You managed to navigate your way through this match. Another big win. Well done. And yes, I know I haven't done the Man United West Ham game, alright? I want to go in depth into that tomorrow and touch on all the furore surrounding Anthony, alright? So tune in. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And as always, I'll talk to you in a while.